When I first moved to Boston for college, I honestly thought I had it all figured out. I was the first person in my entire family to go to university, and I'd landed a full scholarship. My dorm room even had this incredible view of the city skyline. Everything felt like it was falling perfectly into place. And then I met my roommate, Jessica. On the surface, she was great. Super talkative, funny, always had a story to tell. She was always borrowing my stuff, but it was always just for one night. At first, I didn't think much of it. A little shampoo here, a snack from my stash there. But within a few weeks, the borrowing escalated. My favorite hoodie vanished. My expensive face wash was suddenly half empty. It was small things, but they started to add up. I decided to talk to her about it. I tried to be nice, Just a casual, "Hey, have you seen my hoodie?" She just laughed it off. "Relax," she said. "We share everything here. That's what roommates do." But that wasn't sharing. Sharing is a two-way street. This was just taking. I started to feel this knot in my stomach whenever I was in my own room. It didn't feel like my space anymore. It felt like our space, but only on her terms. But the missing stuff was just the beginning. That's when things took a much darker turn. A couple of months into the semester, I started hearing whispers. Rumors were spreading around my classes, and they were all about me. Vicious things. People were saying I was cheating on exams, that I'd bribed a professor to get an A. It was insane. I've always been a straight A student, but I earned every single one of those grades through late nights at the library and sheer hard work. The rumors got so bad that even my scholarship advisor called me in for a meeting. Sitting in his office, trying to defend myself against these baseless accusations, was one of the most humiliating experiences of my life. I was shocked, hurt, and just completely confused. I knew I hadn't done anything wrong, but how do you prove a negative? How do you prove you didn't do something? My world, which had felt so perfect just a few weeks ago, was starting to crumble around me. I felt completely isolated. One night, I was studying late in the library, trying to escape the tension in my dorm room. My phone buzzed. It was a text from an unknown number. All it said was, "You shouldn't mess with Jessica. She always wins." My blood ran cold. In that single moment, everything clicked into place. It was her. Jessica wasn't just messy or inconsiderate. She wasn't just a thief. She was actively trying to destroy my reputation, my academic career, my entire future. She was dangerous. I knew right then that I couldn't just confront her. Words meant nothing to her. She'd just lie, twist it around, and make me look like the crazy one. I needed proof. Cold, hard, undeniable proof. So I did something I never thought I'd do. I went online and ordered a small camera, one of those ones that are disguised as a USB charging adapter. It was discreet. It just looked like a normal plug in the wall. I set it up on the wall above my desk, aimed perfectly to cover my side of the room. Then, all I could do was wait. A week went by, and honestly, it was the most stressful week of my life. I acted completely normal around Jessica, pretending nothing was wrong, all while this little camera was silently recording. Then I checked the footage, and my stomach dropped. It was all there, clear as day. The video showed Jessica sneaking into my side of the room when she thought I was out. It caught her taking pictures of my completed assignments on her phone. It even recorded her opening my laptop, going through my files, and copying my essays onto a flash drive. It was methodical. It was calculated. It was chilling. Just as I was figuring out what to do with this evidence, fate intervened in the most perfect way. The dean of students sent out a campus-wide email. They were launching a major digital ethics investigation, specifically looking for cases of plagiarism and academic dishonesty. The timing was almost poetic. Jessica, completely oblivious to my secret camera, was practically gloating. I overheard her in the hallway, talking loudly on her phone about how some people are about to lose their scholarships. She was so confident, so sure that she had framed me perfectly. That was my moment. I didn't confront her. I didn't cause a scene. I just went back to my laptop, created a new anonymous email address, and composed a message to the dean. I attached everything: the video files, screenshots with dates and timestamps, and a brief, anonymous explanation of what had been happening. I hit send, and a wave of relief washed over me. The ball was no longer in my court. 2 days later, I was studying in my room when there was a knock on the door. It was 2 campus security officers and the resident director. They weren't there for me. They asked for Jessica. I watched, silently, as they escorted her out of the dorm. She was in tears trying to argue, but they had the evidence. It turned out my video was the final piece of a much larger puzzle. She had stolen assignments and plagiarized from 3 other students in our year. The university expelled her for academic fraud. The next day, the dean called me into his office and personally apologized for the ordeal I'd been through. My scholarship was secured, my name was cleared, and the cloud that had been hanging over my head for months finally disappeared. A few months after that, I moved out of the dorms and into a small apartment by myself. It was quiet, it was clean, and most importantly, it was peaceful. Sometimes, late at night, I think about the last thing Jessica screamed at me as security led her away. "You set me up!" But I know the truth. I didn't set her up. She built her own trap, piece by piece, lie by lie. All I did was turn on the light. Thank you so much for listening to my story. If you've ever dealt with a difficult situation like this, know that you're not alone. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to the channel for more stories. See you in the next one.